Good day, everyone. I am Sir Robbie, and together, we will learn the word of the future, robotics. Did you know that here in Educational Technology Unit, robotics is a priority to make every Filipino learners and teachers competent and meet the demands of the future global scene? Wherein teachers, students, and parents who wanted to learn robotics is just a click away for free. Robotics is an interdisciplinary field which integrates computer science and engineering. It involves design, construction, operation, and use of robots to assist human activities. Are you ready for this transformation? Soon in ICT's Educational Technology Unit. Come and join us and love the future para sa bata, para sa bayan, at para sa guro. Sulong edukalidad.
Magandang araw, Sir Wilbur po, at your service. Narito ang ETUlay upang gabayan ka sa inyong pag-aaral upang lubos na maunawaan ang iba't ibang paksa o subject. Ang ETUlay ay isang free online tutorial class na pinangungunahan ng ICT's Educational Technology Unit sa pamumuno ni Undersecretary Elaine Del B. Pascua. Ang programang ito ay hindi lamang para sa mga bata, kundi ito rin ay magsisilbing gabay sa mga magulang at mga guro kung paano nila ituturo o gagabayan sa bawat asignatura ang kanilang mga anak o mga estudyante. Sa kasalukuyan, ang self-learning module mula sa rehiyon ng Calabarzon at kilala sa tawag na pivot ang ginagamit sa ating ETUlay online class. Kaya ano pang hinihintay ninyo? Ihanda na ang inyong mga ballpen o lapis, papel o kwaderno at samahan kaming itulay ang pagkatuto para sa bawat batang Pilipino. Sama-sama tayong magtutulungan para malampasan ang mga hamon sa panahong ito. Halina't matuto kasama ang inyong online tutor sa oras na ito.
An awesome and amazing afternoon, everyone, to all our learners, parents, teachers from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. I'm Tutor Ruby, so I will be your teacher in this subject, the 21st century literature. I hope everyone is fine, you're doing good amidst the challenges that we are facing. With the weather condition o kung anumang problema o mga pagsubok meron tayo. Pero patuloy lang po tayo sa buhay. Okay, let's choose to be happy and let's choose to see the brighter side of our life. Ayan. So, good afternoon, Mary Rochelle Ibitioy. And good afternoon also, Ashley Butter Arroyo. Hello. And we have also here Choi Nozi Makalala. Good afternoon. I'm so glad to be with you. Armenda Red. Good afternoon. Watching from Bantad National High School, Gumaka East, Quezon Province. Ayan. So I hope to all our senior high school learners, we will enjoy our session. Welcome to ETUlay Online Tutorial. So this is every Tuesday from 4 o'clock to 4:40. So 21st century literature from the Philippines and the world. So we are now in quarter 4, week 2. So once again, I hope and pray that everyone is doing good, and let's have positive outlook and growth mindset to keep this life worth living for. So, good afternoon also to Sheena Marie Rubia, watching from Negros Oriental. All right. So, this time, dear learners, we will be guided with these objectives. At the end of the session, you'll be able to determine relevant information about 21st century literature. And of course, you can tell significant details about the Chinese literature. All right. So, of course, we'll have a review first. Let's see if you know this question. So what will you do? you will type the correct answer. Okay, make sure to choose the correct letter for that. Okay, so you will type and send it there in our comment box. So, here for our review in number one, by the way, don't forget to write the number and the letter of the correct answer. I hope everyone is excited. So, if you are excited, you will participate and you will also uh, give your answer in the comment box or in the comment section. Yay. So here, Chinese civilization is known as blank. So we have four choices here. A, the red dragon. B, the land of prayer. C, the sleeping dragon. Or D, the land of the rising sun. All right, let's see our senior high school learners, how far have you learned from your 21st century literature? All right, so while waiting for your answer, good afternoon, Harold, Tonzo Libria, good afternoon, Choi Nozay Makalalad, Arminda Red, ayan, Jaime de Vera Bornolia, Jeff Gaming, we have also Sheena Marie Robia, Ashley Butter Arroyo. Okay, keep sending your answer and teacher or tutor Ruby will recognize you. Yes. Okay. Now here, uh, and for our review in number one, China civilization is known as blank. Again, write the number and the letter of the correct answer and send it in our comment section so that Tutor B can recognize you well. Okay, keep sending your answer. Hi po, teacher from Jamie de Vera Bornolia. And watching from San Gabriel National High School. Wow, good to hear that. Okay, wow, you have answers in the comment box right now. According to Armenda Red, the answer in number one is letter D. According also to Choi Nazoy Makalala, the answer is letter D. From Ashley Butter Arroyo, her answer also is letter D. O from Sheena, according to Sheena, it's letter C. Okay. And from Jamie De Vera Bornolia, according to him, it's letter A. Okay, he changed his answer. It's letter B now. Okay, now what is the correct answer? Chinese civilization is known as red dragon or the red dragon. Oh, therefore, the correct answer is letter A. And Maria Teresa got it correct. Very good. Jamie De Vera Bornolia also got the correct answer. Okay, that's good. So, Chinese civilization is known as the red dragon. Moving on here. Okay, for number two, Japan is known as blank. So, what you will do, make sure to write the number and, of course, the letter of the correct answer. All right, we have four choices here. Japan is known as blank. A, the red dragon. B, the land of prayer. C, the sleeping dragon. Or D, the land of the rising sun. Okay, keep sending your answer. Okay, I have here now, according to Editha Corazon de Guzman, it's letter D. From Choi Nozoy Makalalad, his answer is D. Editha D. Maria Teresa Nunez. Answer D. Jamie De Vera Bornolia. Answer D. Sheena Marie. Answer D. J. Lord Cola Istardo. Armenda Red. And Ashley Butter Arroyo. And Krisha Brob. They said D po, ma'am. Is your answer correct? Oh, let's check, huh? Again, Japan is known as blank. And the correct answer is yay! You are correct. The answer in number two is letter D. Japan is known as the land of the rising sun. Okay. Actually, it's just a review. We have now The correct answer of number two. Again, Japan is known as the land of the rising sun. Now let's move here in number three. Okay. Third, India is known as blank. A, the red dragon. B, the land of prayer. C, the sleeping dragon. Or D, the land of the rising sun. Okay, keep sending your answer. Again, don't forget to write the number and the letter of the correct answer. Yay, I have here now. According to Krisha Brob, the answer in number three is B. From Choi Nozoy Makalalad, the answer in number three is B. Same with Editha Corazon de Guzman. According to her, the answer in number three is B. Maria Teresa Nunez, answer. Her answer is B. Jamie De Vera Bornolia, her answer is D. Okay, but from Sheena Marie Rubia, the answer is B. According to Sheena, B po. All right. According to Ashley Butter Arroyo, B po, ma'am. Okay. So most of your answer in number three is letter B. So India is known as blank. Let's check your answer. Yes, you are precisely correct. India is known as the land of prayer. Okay, so you have another information this afternoon. Thank you for your participation. Now let's move to number four. Okay, here, the old language of India. The word means cultivated or perfected. So we have here four choices. First, in letter A, Vishnu. In letter B, Sanskrit. In letter C, Vedic. And in letter D, Aryan. Okay, go, go, go. Send your answer in our comment section. Okay, the old language of India. The word means cultivated or perfected. Oh, here I see the answer of Ashley Butter Arroyo. Okay, according to her, the answer in number four is letter A. A po, ma'am. Sabi ni Ashley. Pero sabi ni Maria Teresa Nunez, it's letter B. Then from Jamie De Vera Bernolia, according to her, the answer is A. A po, ma'am. Oh, let's see ha. According to Krishna Brob, the answer in number four is B. And according to Editha, the answer is B. All right, let's check it. Okay, go, go, go. Let's see, guys. What's the answer in number four? Let's check it. Okay, go, go, go. Yes, the answer is letter B, Sanskrit. Okay, so that's the correct answer, huh? It's letter B. Okay. All right, let's move now. Okay. Let's move now to number five. Okay, for number five, it is the shortest form of Japanese poetry, but most popular. It has 17-syllable poem and 3 lines of 5. 7 and 5 syllables. Okay. So there are 4 choices. A, tangka. B, manyu shu. C, no. D, haiku. All right. Let's have that one. Okay. Go, go, go. It is the shortest form of Japanese poetry, but most popular. All right, so I have here now the answer of Editha Corazon de Guzman Nazaire. According to her, the answer in number 5 is letter D. From Jamie De Vera Bornolia, her answer is D. Then from Krishna Brob, her answer is D. Sheena Marie Robia answered letter D. And from Ashley Butter Arroyo, the answer is D. Maria Teresa Nunez, her answer is D. Okay, let's check. Yes, precisely. All of you got the correct answer. It's haiku. Haiku is the shortest form of Japanese poetry, but most popular. It has 17 syllable poem and three lines of 5, 7, and 5 syllables. Okay, now here. What is 21st century literature? Okay, this is sort of review. Okay, so when we talk about 21st century literature, okay, it talks about new literary work created within the last decade, and it's written by contemporary authors. It deals with current themes, issues, and reflects a technological culture. So there's already a touch of technology when we talk about the 21st century literature. It's not just about uh, books, okay, comics, or printed materials. It's more than that. There's already a touch of technology. All right. Then often breaks traditional writing rules. Okay. And it's an emerging genres like I'm or there's a sort of instructional materials and blog format books. You have also digifiction. That's an example of 21st century literature. Doodle fiction, and even flash fiction, mobile phone textula, and graphic novels. These are just some of the examples of 21st century literature. And here we will be focusing also uh, let's try to study about the difference between 21st century literature and earlier literature. Okay, to have a clearer view. Yes, all of them are literature, but what's really the difference between the two? Okay, so let's focus first on the 21st century literature. Here, um, the subjects, okay, the subjects at 21st century literature is daring and sometimes it's controversial. Yes. And but amidst of being daring and controversial subjects, it is very innovative in structure and style. And the fictions here is speculative. Okay, speculative fictions. And chick lit are some of the famous genre. By the way, are you familiar with chick lit? Chick, it's like it's more on being. It's like more on focusing on heroines, uh, female heroes, something like that. Yeah, heroines. So because in this time it's more on women empowerment, yeah, and of course gender equality is already part of the recent generation. That's why it's chick lit are some of the famous genre in 21st century literature, and poems doesn't have to rhyme. Yes. And blogs, text serie or text series, and it's more unliberated content. Okay? But when we talk about earlier literature, it's more on folk songs, folk tales, indigenous rituals and dances, and primary oral in nature because written works were destroyed. And secular dramas were held on various religious holidays or following someone's death. That could be one of its content. And formal and imitative structure. That's what earlier literature is all about. It's very formal. And sense of nationalism is truly evident. But political novels were present. Okay? So This is some of the differences between 21st century literature and earlier literature. Okay. Now here, um, Asian literature. Basically, uh, there's the existence of Chinese literature, Japanese literature, and Indian literature. But at this juncture, we will be focusing to the Chinese literature. All right. So as you can see here, uh, the first thing that we will be talking about is during the pre-classical period. Okay, if you know about this, uh, called unlay musical practices, divination, astronomy, and exorcism was popular during this time, during the pre-classical period. And there was an attempt at tracing the genealogy of Chinese literature to religious spells and incantations. Okay, so again, that was during the pre classical period. Yes, we are talking about the 21st century literature, but it's good also to know the roots, to know the foundation of this 21st literature. And of course, it started during the pre-classical period. Then next to that, the classical text, okay, from 770 to 256 BC. BC stands for before Christ. So that's quite long time ago, all right? So there are books, poems, historical texts, dictionaries, encyclopedias, discourse, and philosophical books during this time. Okay? So just imagine that year 770 to 256 BC. Of course, that's long, long, long time ago. And during this time, the content of the Chinese literature was all about religion. Okay, so religion like Confucianism. And yes, the literature also consists of history, science, and philosophy. So during this time, the art of war by Sun Tzu during the 6th century before Christ was already there. In fact, it was the first guidelines for effective international diplomacy. So the civilization of Chinese uh, was really rooted long, long time ago. So we can consider them as uh, earliest civilized people in the world. Yes. And we're done with the pre-classical period, and we have tackled also the classical text way back 770 to 256 BC. I don't know if there are still literary pieces at this moment of time in our generation now. Okay, but in history, Chinese literature was really great. Their literature was rich. Okay, so next to that, we have this classical fiction and drama. So, in that classical fiction and drama, there were tales, novels, or novella. Okay, and the contents of those tales, novels, or novella was all about social aspects of the Chinese people. They have also their morals and philosophical problems. All right. So we can't get away with any problems, challenges, regardless of the period that people are in. Okay. And during that classical fiction and drama time, there was a new account of the tales of the world and investigations of the supernatural. So it was during the time of 4th and 5th century. Okay? A new account of the tales of the world and investigations of the supernatural by Shi Shu Xinyu. All right. So, uh, basically, Chinese literature was rooted long, long time ago, but it's still available these days. All right. So here, this is now the modern Chinese literature. The other one that I have showed you a while ago, it was during the earliest times, but now the modern Chinese literature. All right. So, who among you who have heard about Light Sing, the new culture movement? Oh, um, senior high school learners, who among you are familiar with this Light Sing during 1895 to 1911, wherein modern Chinese literature had new culture movement from 1917 to 1923. That's the new culture movement. But the late Sing was last 1895 to 1911. But both belongs to the modern Chinese literature. So the contents of their literature is hybrid fiction. Do you know what hybrid means? Hybrid fiction. So basically, when you talk about hybrid, it's a mix of classical or modern fiction. All right. They have also poem, drama on language, and no wonder the drama on language and style was influenced by the West, okay? Influenced by the Western people. Okay, so that's normal. I think most of the people in this age was really influenced by the West, our way of living, our way of speaking, and our way of writing. So it was during this Lightsing and New Culture movement when there were some national crises and exotic culture. There were also some social problems and ethical values. All right. So um, I don't know if your grandmother and grandfather were born during the year 1917 or 1923. Maybe it's possible, but 1895 to 1911, it's quite impossible, maybe. All right. So during that time in the modern Chinese literature, uh, there was a novelist in the name of Li Boyuan, and there was a poet Hu Shi, and the most popular drama during that time was Peking Opera. Okay, Peking Opera. Oh, I know in our country we have also our modern literature. Yes, but as of this moment, we'll be focusing on the modern Chinese literature. Okay. Next to that, we have this Republican era. Okay, from 1912 to 1949. Okay, maybe your mom and dad were born during this year, or your grandmother or grandfather. All right, so it's the Republican era. Or maybe one of you or some of you have a Chinese lineage, a Chinese heritage. So here we have Hu Shi from 1891 to 1962. The classical, Hu Shi from the year 1891 to 1962, and Chen Doxiu from 1880 to 1942 declared the classical language as dead. Hmm. Why? Why do you think they declare the classical language is dead? Oh, actually, there are some writers who tried to make changes. Okay, what is being written in the past. So, in the Republican era, there are some changes like this. Okay, but during this time also, there are some modern fiction, poetry, and drama. And most of the write ups or their literary pieces, uh, the theme is more on love stories. I know young people love to hear love stories, right? At your age now, as senior high school learners, you're fond of reading or watching stories or movies with a theme about love stories. Then there were also domestic issues, okay, family matters, right, and gender, of course, that's part, and women empowerment is very strong at this time. Yeah, family, friendship, and also war. Yes, war has been always part in the history. Yes, not just in political aspect, but also in literary field. So Mandarin Ducks and Butterflies have here new culturalist fiction, Luzon, vernacular poetry, and Mi Lanfang, a dramaturgist. Okay, so we have here Mi Lanfang, a dramaturgist. There's some dramaturgists in our country as well. So Chinese literature have it also in the past. Okay, now here again the late Sing and the new culture movement and Republican era. This belongs to the modern Chinese literature. All right, so uh, I'm not sure if most of you are familiar with this modern Chinese literature, but if it's your first time to know this one, you can comment also, or you can send your reaction in our comment section so that I can know if you have an idea about this modern Chinese literature. So it's a part of the 21st century literature. Now, here we have also the Maoist era. Okay, Maoist era. It started from 1949 to 1976. So during this era, or during this Maoist era, gradually nationalized the publishing industry. So publishers are already existed, books are published, novels are published already. Okay, so if it's being published, it's already uh, being copyrighted. Okay, so socialist realism translated from Soviet literature, idealism, and humanitarianism uh, is very evident during this Maoist era. And new socialist literature like The Builder, Chuang Yi Bellew King. Okay, so uh, there are some people who belong in this generation these days. They were born in the year 1949 to 1976. Okay, but the there was an opening and reform from the year 1976 to 1989. Oh, my husband was born in the year 1978 and I was born in the year 1982. Oh, this is my era. And on the year 1989 I was in grade 1 already. So opening and reform. This means new era in modern Chinese literature. Okay, from the year 1978 to 1989. So literary magazines rose sharply, and there were also abuses of power, cultural revolution, intense patriotic political system, and there were also cultural revolution poets, misty poets, B.E. Dao, Guqing, Du, and Yang Lian. So there are some cultural revolution poets during this time. Okay, so I don't know among you who aim to be one of the cultural revolution poet in the future. You can start as early as now. Yes, and after the opening and reform, or what they call as new era from 1978 to 1989. Okay, another post Tiananmen was born from the year 1989 up to this time, up to the present time. Okay, it's what we call as post Tiananmen, wherein novel still exists, and most of the subject of that novel is are female. I mean, are female, and there's a neo-realism and social criticism and diaspora. Okay, are you familiar with diaspora? And what's good in this post Tiananmen 19 from the year 1989 to present, because Han Han's novel His Land on the year 2009, Gao Xingjian was the first Chinese recipient of the Nobel Prize for Literature in 2000. Wow, this is a remarkable recognition among Chinese people, especially in the modern Chinese literature, because there was a man, a first Chinese recipient of Nobel Prize for Literature in the year 2000. Okay, because of the novel, Han Han's novel, His Land, in the year 2009. So I'm so proud of Gao Xiangjian being the first Chinese recipient of this Nobel Prize in Literature. All right. So with that, we have here also a slide about translation, because there are also writers who focus on translation. So, translation or translated literature has long played an important role in modern China, because there are some authors in Chinese literature that are focusing on writing new stories, new novels, new poetic things or write-ups, but there are people also who are focusing on translating uh, information or translating some literary pieces. Okay, and indeed, this translation or translated literature has long played an important or vital role in modern China. So here, there are some writers such as Lu Zon, Yu Dafo, Ba Jin, and others were literary translators themselves, and many present day writers in China. Okay, for example, the original text is written in English. So these translators or these writers translate it to the vernacular or original language or Chinese language or maybe Mandarin language. Okay, so among these writers are Luzon, Udafo, Bajin, and others. And there were some literary translators. And at present, there were a lot of writers in China, such as the Nobel laureate Mo Yan, listed and translated works as sources of enlightenment and inspiration. Okay, I also appreciate these people who really take time to translate literary pieces from other languages, like the Bible itself, the original text, so that is in Hebrew or Greek. So just imagine, I'm a Filipino. If it was not translated in English version, it's so hard for me to understand the Bible text. So that's why uh, I appreciate these writers. Okay, I appreciate these learners. Okay, because they really go some extra mile to translate literary pieces in their own language, in the Chinese language. So here, let's have this activity. All right, let's try to answer this one, dearest learners. Okay, write the number and the letter of the correct answer. Okay, make sure you follow the instruction again. Write the number and the letter of the correct answer. Okay. So, number one, he is known as the Chinese philosopher who started Confucianism. Okay. Oh, there are four choices here. A. Confucius, B. Lao Tzu, C. Gautama, D. Kylon. All right. Yes, Editha have sent her answer already. According to Editha Corazon de Guzman Nazar, the answer number one is B. Okay, how about the others? Okay, so our time is so short, but we tried to get the gist of our discussion this afternoon. Okay, again, and number one, he is known as the Chinese philosopher who started Confucianism. A. Confucius, B. Lao Tzu, C. Gautama, D. Kylon. All right, the correct answer in number one is, according to Arminda Red, the answer is letter B. According to Editha, the answer is letter B. Let's check the answer. Yay, you are correct. It's not letter B, but it's letter A. Confucius. Okay, he's known as the Chinese philosopher who started Confucianism. Okay. Diba? And during the earlier period, in the earlier time, most of the content of the literature in Chinese literature is more on religion, okay, like Confucianism. Okay, so Confucius was a Chinese philosopher who started Confucianism. Okay, moving to number two. The first Chinese who was a recipient of the Nobel Prize for Literature in 2000. Oh, can you still remember it? Who was he? Okay. It's okay, Editha, if you got the wrong answer. It's fine. Sometimes it's okay to commit mistakes as long as we're able to correct our mistake. Yes. Learning must be fun. Okay. So let's just enjoy answering the activities here. Okay. Number two, the first Chinese who was a recipient of the Nobel Prize for Literature in 2000. A. Confucius, B. Lao Tzu, C. Gao Xingjian, or D. Kylon. Go, go, go. Send your answer. Okay, we have few minutes left for this lesson. All right. So the correct answer in number two is Gao Xingjian. Well, he's the first Chinese who was a recipient of the Nobel Prize for Literature. You know what? It's not easy. It's not easy to be a recipient of the Nobel Prize, especially for literature. Okay, but Gao Shangjian got it. And he represented the first Chinese. Okay, and it's very remarkable. It was the last 2000. Okay, so yes, by the way, our in our subject 21st century literature, once again, this is Tutor Ruby. Our time is done. So thank you so much for your participation, and I'm so glad you're here with me. I hope to see you next week. Actually, I'm just a substitute teacher, and your online tutor will meet you next week. All right. So once again, have a great day. Goodbye, everyone. Happy learning to all of you.
Sigurado ako na marami ka na namang natutuhan sa ating ETUlay tutorial session ngayong araw. Tandaan, ito ay hindi lamang para sa ating mga mag-aaral, kundi pati rin sa ating mga minamahal na guro at mga magulang na kaagapay natin para maituloy ang pagkatuto sa kabila ng nararanasang pandemya. Patuloy ding sumubaybay sa DepEd TV para sa mga araling ginawang video episodes. Mapapanood ito mula Lunes hanggang Sabado, alas 7 ng umaga hanggang alas 7 ng gabi sa inyong mga telebisyon. Abangan bukas mula 1:00 ng tanghali ang iba pang aralin sa ating ETUlay free online tutorial session sa Filipino. I-like and subscribe at manatiling nakasubaybay sa ating ETUlay tutorial session sa DepEd Edtech Unit FB page at Educational Technology Unit channel sa YouTube at sa DepEd Tayo at DepEd Philippines social media accounts. Paalam!